Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CCSC. Thank you very much for joining the channel. We are going to do another Let's Play series on Cities Skylines, one of my favorite games to play. We're going to do a tutorial to teach you how to play the game. We are going to start on a basic map, just in case you've only downloaded the game, you're just starting out. But it'll also be a little bit of a fun Let's Play series for those of us who have played a little bit longer. But we're going to do a basic tutorial to also teach and inform. We're going to start with a Green Plains map. It is one of the first maps that come with the original game. It is based on Washington, D.C. The area, the topographical map that is created in the game is based on the area of Washington, D.C. So we're going to call it New Washington, D.C. I am going to use left-hand traffic because where I'm from, I have left-hand traffic. My apologies, you probably have right, but bear with me. You'll understand, it's fine. We've cheats. We're not going to use any of the cheats. We're not going to unlock any of the milestones, money, or oil, soil, anything like that. We're not going to use the dynamic weather in the game. It is, normally if I was playing the game, not doing a video, I would. It does add a little bit of realism to the game, and we're not going to use the day-night cycle. It's easier and better for YouTube, for building and for filming, to not use the day-night cycle. So we're going to go ahead and hit start. And once we get loaded up to our map, the very first thing that you're going to want to do, we are playing on PS4. You're going to hit the L03 trigger. That will pause the game. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a map. There's a calendar. It is the 19th of January, 2021 in real life, so it is today. This is when I'm filming this video. It'll probably be released tomorrow. However, you're going to pause it by touching that in. If you want, you can hold it in to make the game speed 2 times or 3 times faster. We'll cover that later. But for right now, we're going to pause it. We want to stay on the same... we don't want to waste money. We don't want to waste the calendar year until we get the game going. Now, the very first thing that you're going to do in the game is you are going to go to build a road. It's really the only option you have to start out. And as you can see, you have no road options. However, if you take this little road here, this individual normal old road, 2-lane road, and you build the smallest little section that you can build, and then you pull out your dual bulldozer by hitting the square button. Once that bulldozer's out, you can delete that, and as you can see, it then unlocks quite a few options for roads. You have other options to choose from. You actually have a 4-lane road, a 6-lane road. You haven't unlocked any of the highways yet, but you actually have a small roundabout to choose from. So that's the very first thing that you're going to do in your game after you've paused it. And then we can start building roads. Now again, I have left-hand traffic. So we are going to, first off, you want to look at your map. So this is the map that we have. We only have this one little tile for now. We will expand to 9 tiles eventually. That's all you have on the console editions. This is a completely vanilla tutorial. We do have all of the DLCs up to date as of now. We have those options, and if I notice something that is a DLC, I'll try and point it out and explain an option that isn't a DLC. But we will eventually have 9 tiles all total. And we're going to start on this tile. So it's good to take a look around at the land and kind of figure out where you want to go. The first thing that you need to figure out, if you go to a tile and hit X, you can see we own this tile. You can see the natural resources on the tile. There is no ore, and there is no oil. When starting out on a map, you want to look and make sure that you have... If this is what you want, there are some maps that don't have railway transportation. There's some maps that don't have ocean connections. If that's okay with you, then that's fine. I chose this map because it has everything. That way we can show you everything. However, the only tile within our vicinity that we can grab that has access to the ocean is this tile here. This tile doesn't even have it. This tile here, so we have to at least buy this tile at some point to get ocean access. But starting the game, you kind of want to look around and you want to get a feel for where you're going to go eventually. Obviously, if you're going to build... So if you buy this tile over here with this mountain on it, if you hit X, you can see the details of the tile. There's 75% suitable area for building. However, you can't build on all of that. Most of that you can't build on because it's a mountain. You could knock the mountain down, use a lot of money to move soil, and make it suitable for building, but maybe that's not the direction you want to go. Maybe you want to just avoid that tile. So it's good to kind of figure out where you're going to start and what you're going to do, and it's also good to figure out where you're going to put your residential sections and your industrial sections and your commercial sections. It's good to figure out where you're going to zone and what you're going to do. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a cheat. Now I'm going to run this entire road. Eventually will be a highway. We're going to continue this highway all the way down, I believe, as of right now, because I think we're going to buy this tile to the left of us, this right here. I'm not positive if that is the case, but I think that's what's going to happen. So we're going to plan on that, and we're going to use the gravel road because the gravel road is much cheaper. You can see these two roads are not straight, but the gravel road is much cheaper. You can see the way the grid comes off the roads. Sometimes that is a problem. You can see, however, the gravel road is only $20 a cell, where the one-way road is $40 a cell, and the two-lane road is $40 a cell. So we're going to build most of our starting roads out of gravel roads because they cost half as much, and then we're going to upgrade them later. So we're going to come off this road, and we're going to... so you have snapping options. You can, when you're selected on a road, you can hold triangle, and you can see you have straight, curved, freeform. You can also change the snapping options if you want to get rid of, if you're having problems getting around a corner or getting something to line up, you may pull it off of the grid, you may pull it off of snapping options. It's going to snap down at a 90-degree angle. If that's not what you want, maybe change that. However, for right now, we're going to leave that on. You can also change the elevation step whenever you are building bridges. But we'll cover that later in the tutorial. And road length. You can change all of these options by hitting triangle, but also you can change direction, repair road, or upgrade road. Upgrade road would be changing these gravel roads later to a highway. But we're just going to stick with straight tool for right now, and we're going to come straight off of this road. And actually, let's go about to there, and we'll come straight up here and connect to that. Now we've got a straight line. These roads weren't even, but now we've got a straight line, and we can do this here. Now this road gives us a nice 90-degree angle to play off of. We can line up with the center node here, and we can come out 10 squares. 10 squares is one long bar here. You can see 20 squares is 2 long bars, 30 squares is 3. So we're going to come out 10 squares or one long bar. Just to start, just to show you, what I'm going to do is delete this road now, and we're going to get nice direct angles here. Now obviously this is a gravel road. You don't need to do all this right now. You could just have an easy stop. But these will act like one lane because you can't continue the other way on this road. So they're going to act like one lane roads, and when we get to that point, we will upgrade them to one lane roads. And when we get to that point, we will actually upgrade this entire thing to a double divided highway. But for right now, we're just going to come down, and we need to figure out where we're going to put our industrial section, and we need to figure out where we're going to put our residence. So we also need to pre-plan for your electrical usage needs and your water. When starting the game, those are the 3 things that you need to get before you get your zoning down. So your electrical, we've got 2 options with electric. We've got wind turbine, and we've got a coal power plant. Coal power plant is fine. It does, however, produce pollution, and it produces a lot of noise pollution. Uses coal to produce energy and creates heavy pollution. It uses coal to create energy, so if you're not harvesting coal yourself, you're importing coal. It costs you a little bit more money. The power output, however, is substantially better than these wind turbines. You get 40 megawatts per week with this coal power option. And both of these are options that are in the standard gameplay. I don't think there's anything unlocked as of yet that's from a DLC, no. So we are going to, I like to do green cities. I like to keep my citizens healthy and happy. I try to do more non-polluting industry as well. So if you look at your map, the only options that we have in this one tile for any kind of solar option is right here. Right in this center here. You can see the darker the area, the more megawatts you get. Over in this kind of lighter area, you only get 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But in the dark area, you can get 8. And that is the max that you can get with a solar power wind turbine. You can get 0 to 8. It depends on the wind. It depends on a lot of things. That's another reason why for these videos I don't like to use the weather cycle, because that changes your wind patterns. I like to keep it just simple so we don't have to keep adjusting. It does make the gameplay a little bit more fun, but for this video, we'll keep it simple. So we are going to use the wind turbines. Now, that means that we are kind of taking out this whole area here, because these things, as you can see the little red ring around it, or orange, and the headphones, these are noise pollution indicators, and they produce noise pollution all in this area circling around us. So we're going to put down 2 of these to start. Actually, I think we might even go 3. You don't need to go 3. 2 is pretty sufficient. Actually, I think we're just going to start with 2. So that's where our power is going to be for right now. We will change that. I find that normally with the wind turbines, I end up moving them later. That's where our power option is going to be. So we've got that settled. Now we need to work on our water needs. So in your water sewage options, you have pipes, you have water pumping stations, you have water towers, and you have drain pipes. These are all in the standard vanilla play. In the DLCs, you also get inland water treatment plants. I like to use the Eco Water Outlet because it's a little bit better for the environment. It's a green alternative. It does cost a little bit more, and I believe the upkeep is a little bit more as well. It takes 480 kilowatts per week, and the regular pumping station only takes 240. However, the draining capacity is also halved. So it does cost a little bit more to do the eco pumping station, but I do like that option opposed to the standard drainage station. But first we need to set up our water pumping station. Our water pumping station is what's going to bring water into the town. Now you have 2 options here. You can either do the water pumping station, or you can do a water tower in the middle of your town. I like to just start with the water pumping station. It isn't necessary in the beginning. You can just start with a water tower. And we're going to put this all the way up at the north edge of our map on this river here. Why? Because we're going to build on the right side of the map here. This is the closest to the highway, so that we don't have to run a road all the way over here and build. And actually, I don't even think we're connected. No, we can't build over there. So this is our only option for water right now. Now, you can see the arrows. The arrows are the direction of the water. You do not want to put your drainage station north or up water of your pumping station. That will get all of your citizens sick. You can see, maybe you can't, can I get this lake? Yeah. You can see the size of the arrows are the speed of drainage, how fast the water is moving. With these arrows over here, the water is moving plenty fast, so we're going to put our eco pumping stations right on the edge of the water down here on the south, downriver of our pumping station. Now, when you go to put in your pumping stations, you can see the drain capacity for this is 60,000. The drain capacity for this is 120,000. The pumping station itself is 120,000. So if you do decide to go the eco route, you need to put down 2 of these. So we're going to put down 2 of those, and then we're going to connect them with pipes. So we just need to connect these 2 together, and you can hear the little ding in the background. That signifies that it is connected. And then we need to connect it up to here. My apologies, I got a little lost there on the map. We need to connect it to there. Now, eventually we'll need to connect all of this to our electrical needs, or our electrical supply over here. And the very first thing that we're going to do is show you how to do the radio. Now, some of these won't work in recording. Gold FM will not work in recording. It is actual songs. But for right now, we're going to put on a little bit of music in the background. And we'll go ahead and go with a little country. So, we've got our pumping station, we've got our drainage stations, we've got some power on the map. Now, we need to just add some more roads, and we need to figure out where we're going to go with our demands for industry, commercial, and residential. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, and this will be the industry road for right now. It will get moved. Not this road, sorry. This will be the industry road for right now. It will get moved eventually, probably. But for right now, that'll work. And when you do that, you can see... So I just came off of this road to get a straight 90-degree angle, then I could go this way. So we can now delete this straight 90-degree angle, and if we come from this node here, you can see, this node here, you can see that is a perfect 45-degree angle off of the highway, off of what will be the highway. And you want to have 45-degree angles in the game. The AI treats those a lot better. They don't stop, they don't slow down, they just veer off and go down. So we've got a 45-degree angle, and this will be our industrial area. So we can go ahead and paint this off now, and we'll start with this area in the back and grow it a little bit later. Now, going back to our roads, we're going to go back to a gravel road, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come off here and get a nice 45-degree angle. And then we can delete this road altogether. Now this road here, well, my apologies, we shouldn't have deleted that road yet. Now this road here, we're going to come straight down and make our residential area. Now we've got a nice little 290 degrees angles coming off of the highway, and that will allow commuters to either go, that'll allow heavy truck drivers to come down and come off of their industrial area and onto the highway here. It'll allow residents to come straight home and come down to their residence. Now we've got our industrial area, we need to come up with a commercial area, and we need to come up with some residential. Now I don't want to take up anything off the water yet, because that is, if you go to your info views here by hitting triangle, that is high land value. It's the only value we have right now is the shoreline. You can boost your land value by offering services and park areas, but for right now we don't have any land value other than the coast. So all I'm going to do is come off of, this will be the main road, and this main road here is where our commercial is going to be. And coming off of this main street, we're going to have a few roads that come back to some residential areas back here. Not too many. You don't want to stop traffic all that often. And actually, we might just have one that breaks up. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to have one that breaks up into back roads back here. And we're just going with a nice gridded formation. Once you get to playing the game a lot more, it's a lot better to make curved roads, to make bends, to use this freeform tool here. And when you come out, it'll start with that angle, and then you can kind of just freeform around to where you want. It looks a lot better, it looks a lot more realistic, but for right now, we're just going to stick with a little gridded pattern to start our city over here. And we will make this our residential section by going to the zoning and zoning this off with this green marker here. And we'll just start right there and probably back there. And then, so you have fill, you have several options when zoning. You have fill, you have a small brush, medium brush, and large brush. The brush literally covers everything in that area with green. To delete zoning area, all you have to do, hitting X makes it zoned. All you have to do is hover over it and hit box. Box dezones any area. I think any area. Yes, box dezones any area. And then you can come in and rezone it, if you would like, to residential. But you also have select. And this is how you get these streets here. So we don't want... Good thing we got that. We don't want houses on Main Street here. This is all going to be commercial. And then we also want a little bit of a buffer between commercial and residential. That's why this road's so kind of far apart. So for right now, we're not going to put anything on this road, but if we come back, we can put a little bit more on this road. And we are going to zone this area commercial. So we'll start with the back of the street. And actually, before we do that, we are going to upgrade some of these roads, because the main street here is obviously going to be a 4-lane road. It's a main street, if not a 6-lane road at a later date. So we're going to upgrade these roads. It does cost us $440 for every one of these little sections that we did. But if you zone this area here with commercial, and then you upgrade the road, it destroys all the businesses, because the businesses are built here. So if you upgrade this now, then you don't destroy the businesses. So we'll go ahead and zone off a little bit for the commercial so that we can get some businesses moved in and supply goods needed for the city. Now we need to connect all of our electric with our power plant over here. And all we're going to do is come up to our industrial zones straight off the power plant. We're going to come over to our commercial zone straight off the power plant. And we will connect to our residential zone. And I think, there we go. Now, when you go back to your zoning, you can see it broke up some of our zones. But that's okay. We'll fill those in later. That's just fine. And as you can see, it's telling you these electrical lines aren't connected to anything. But that's fine, because once we build a house right next to it, it will connect to everything. Houses carry electricity from one another to each other. However, they don't go that far. They only go a few squares around them. So once we get all of this built, then we'll be fine. And we need, my apologies, we need to run some power lines down to our water treatment plants. So that's to our pumping station, and then we'll come right off the pumping station down to our drainage stations. Now we've got everything connected, and we have not spent that much money at all. We still have $28,000 left, almost $29,000. So we're gonna run a few more roads, and maybe even actually, we might just start by upgrading some roads. So I'm gonna go to the curve tool here, and yeah, I think so. I'm going to go to the curve tool here, and we're going to close off this neighborhood. Now you can see once you are on the curve tool, you can see there's a guidance line. Now this guidance line up here is telling you that you're in line with that node up there, which is dead center. So you can go over, and it'll give you a guidance line to line up with this road. So it gives you a nice round curve instead of having wiggly wobbly stuff. So we're just going to close in this area over here, because we'll go with the straight tool on this side. Excuse me. This area is going to be by the highway. We don't really want to build anything else back here. So we'll close in this whole little neighborhood. Actually, let's go ahead and curve that. Now we don't need to go all the way down. We'll probably just go to there and then go to the straight tool to finish it off. Now we've got a nice little neighborhood, if you will, over here. Probably hold, I would say maybe 500 people. We'll see. We can put a little school in this area. We can put a park, and then this keeps this whole area of citizens happy. Now we can go back to our residential zoning, and that's enough to start. We'll start with that, and we can go ahead and hit play now. We've got everything done. We've got our power. And since we've got the option, we'll go ahead and put another... Can we get 8? Where can we get 8? Yeah, maybe we'll wait. We'll wait. We've got some money in the bank. That's fine. You can go ahead and spend all of your money, and I'll show you what happens. If you do spend all of your money, it's fine. You will go into debt and you will start losing money. But we'll go ahead and hit play here. And I'm going to bump it up to 3 times speed by holding in the L03 trigger. And as you can see, we've got our first residents moved in. And once they start building their foundation, that connects the electricity. You can see on your info views, the electric, all connected there. All this blue area is all connected by electricity. All of our water pumping stations are all connected by electricity. And when we get our commercial in, and actually, yeah, that should connect. When we get our commercial in, that should all connect. Aha, there we go. Let's hit pause. That's what we forgot to do. That's why we have so much money. We need to run water pipes for all of our citizens. So if you're running water pipes, to get a perfect overlap, you need to go $440. $440 on, actually it's $460, isn't it? My apologies. $460 gives you a perfect overlap with no loss, no waste, and then you can just run this in a complete gridded system. Now we'll go ahead and connect this here. You don't need to before we head up to the industrial area. Now we're ready to hit play. So that took a few $1,000s. We still have some money in the bank. Now, the very first thing, we're gonna hit pause again real quick. First thing that you want to do before you hit play, although I clearly didn't, is go to your budget and economy screen. Hold triangle. You can see economy over to the right. And in your budgets, you can turn these budgets down. We are producing way too much electricity for no citizens and way too much water for no citizens. Once we have people move in, then we can upgrade these budgets. Now we can hit play. Thank you for bearing with me there. We can hit play. You can see all the water needs are going away. Everyone's like, yep, we have water now. We're all good. We have our first residents moving into our new Washington, D.C. homes. And soon you will see a flood of cars. These homes are built and people can start moving in. You will see a flood of cars coming to the neighborhood. I decided to do this map because I also decided what better time than January 19th, 2021 for us to have a new Washington, D.C. So let's see if we can do this a little bit better this time. Now you can see we've got some power needs over here, and that's because these are not connected. So we go ahead and just add a little bit. Will this do it? Yeah, that does it. We added a little bit there, that connected the power. Now you can see where our finances is. We have $16,000. We are losing $600 every week. However, as more people come in, the more tax revenue we have, the more money we'll start making. So what I was saying in the beginning here is you can run out of money. You can go all the way to zero whenever you're first building your city. You can have all kinds of extra roads that you don't need. You can do all of these roads not in gravel, but it is nice to have a little bit of a cushion. But you can run down to zero, and as long as you don't break, I think, 50,000 negative, then they offer you a loan. Maybe it's 10,000 negative. They offer you a loan to get you out of debt, and then if you continue, then you just slip right out and you fail. But you can go ahead and run it all the way down to zero, because very quickly, just in this little paragraph that I've been talking here, we're already now only losing $300 a week. That $300 will soon turn into positive income. Now you can see in the bottom right, we have a demand. We have a high demand for industry. All of these citizens that have moved here now need a place to work. So we are going to zone off a little bit of more industry.
At Sternberger, our cars are more than just hunks of metal that take you from point A to point B. They are also composed of industrial plastics, polymers, and rubbers. We also know it's what's in the car that is more important than the car itself. And that's why it can also carry up to 300 kilograms of human, animal, or consumer goods cargo. The climate control device brings the air temperature to 22 degrees Celsius. It's our way of making our cars comfortable for the majority of mammal species. In fact, it is a perfect vessel for transport from short to medium distances, and we believe that the price we are asking is a fair trade for the value transfer to the consumer. Sternberger, more than just an auto.
I didn't want to interrupt the Sternberger commercial. However, you can see all the cars flooding home. They're all coming home to their new residence. You can see a lot of traffic going on the highway. And you can see what I did was went to the economy screen and turned up the electrical. That gives us more electric produced. You can go to info views and you can see we are producing 5 megawatts and consuming 5 megawatts. We are starting to bridge down into a red area where we're going to have to bump that up again. Now we're consuming 6 and only producing 5. You can see these red houses here. That means they're not getting electric. So we'll go back to our economy screen, bump this up to 65 for now. And this, in the beginning of the game, is a little bit of a very fluctuating demand. You have to keep bumping it up and bumping it up. Now you can see we are in the positive. We are making $75 a turn now. We have no demand really. We've got a nice little residential area over here. We've got a nice little commercial area here. We got a Penny's. Don't know what they serve. Oh, we got 2 Penny's in this town. We've also got a Pancakes International. And I don't know what that is. Jewelry, it looks like. Big Burgers, I don't know. Now, we've got a few businesses offering lunch and, well, I guess just breakfast. Breakfast, breakfast, breakfast to our citizens. We need to bump up the electric needs a little bit more. And our population is at 307 citizens. Now we can go to our milestones by hitting triangle. Our first milestone is a little hamlet. That is 500 citizens. At that milestone, we can talk about taxes, loans. We can offer garbage, healthcare, and education to our citizens. So we're going to continue to play this until we hit that milestone. You can see we are growing citizens 50 a turn. 50 citizens a week is fantastic growth rate for right now. We will be at that milestone very soon. We've got a little bit of a demand for residential, not much, but we'll go ahead and take care of that. We'll go back to the fill tool. And you can see we have a very large highlighter. So if you go to the small brush and then go to the fill tool, it gives you a very small highlighter. So we'll section off this area and this area and this as well. And we'll keep the outside free for right now because I'm not sure. We may change a little bit of this, the design of this. But for right now, we can delete this electrical line because we are all connected over here. Now I want to go to select and remove these two, but we can add this. We can get another house there. We have some electrical demand. We can go to our budget and take care of that. We'll go up to 75, and as you can see soon, we are going to have to add another wind turbine. Or if you want to go coal plant, that's a fine option. We still have electric needs down here. That should go away soon. Maybe not. Let's bump it up to 80. More people coming on home. You can see the highway's a little busier than when we started. People are moving. New Washington, D.C. is definitely the new hotspot location, as we all knew it would be. So we're almost ready to hit that milestone. We do, as you can see, need to take care of our industrial demand. But we'll worry about that in the next episode. We're going to get to this milestone for right now. And we'll end the video. And we are just a second away. 499. 507. We have reached Little Hamlet. Little Hamlet is the first milestone, and it unlocks quite a few things to get you started building more. As you could see towards the end of that, we kind of ran out of stuff to do. We've got some money, we could build some roads, but we don't really need them for anything. Now, we can implement taxes, which the first thing that you need to do is implement taxes. I will go over that right after we exit this. You can also implement loans. You can take out one loan from a bank. There's 3 different loan options. This is the first one. For the services, we can implement garbage, healthcare, and education. For these options, we have a landfill site for our garbage and a recycling center. For our healthcare, the only thing that we have at this milestone is a medical clinic. It's a small little medical clinic, but for 500 people, that's more than enough. You can also implement elementary school or a community school. We do not have high school options yet, but those 2 schools are both options for elementary. Now, coming out of this, I will pause the game. We will go over these milestones real quick. Now, a loan. We have our first loan available. This is from Silver Sunset Bank. We can take this loan. It is $20,000. It is only 5% interest. 5% interest. So it's only going to cost us $21,000 to take the loan. So we're going to go ahead and take this loan now. And we can go over to our budget, our taxes, and you can see all of these people are paying 9% taxes. 9% doesn't make you much money. You could see we were dragging along. We can bump this up. Realistically, you can bump this up as much as you want. But realistically, starting out in the game, you can bump it up to like 14, 15, maybe even 16 on all 3 of them. And at first, people will be okay. For a couple months, they'll be all right. Then they'll start to complain, and you got to knock it down one, knock it down one, knock it down one, knock it down one. What I find is 12% is the magic number. No one complains at 12%. No one has any input at all. However, 12% is not the best way to grow your city. Obviously, as we all do, we want to live in a place that has the cheapest taxes. So if you keep it at 9%, you have more people moving into your city quicker. If you bump it up to 12, you have less people, but you're still making a little bit more money. We're going to bump it up to 12 because I don't plan on making this a gigantic city. We can go to milestones, and you can see every map is a little bit different, but for our max megapolis is 80,000 people. I plan on making this city about 80,000 people, and I would like to do it in little pockets of areas, little communities, little neighborhoods, to keep more of a tutorial to the game. Now, we have taken out our loan. We can, as I said, implement healthcare. We can put in a medical clinic for these citizens. We'd probably put this off of the main road. We'll cover this in the next episode. We can add an elementary school, and we can also, we have another option for utilities. We have garbage. We can add a landfill site, or we can add a recycling center. Now, both of these have both pollution and noise pollution. So you don't want these, it's actually ideal to put them in your industrial area, because they are polluting anyway. You don't want these next to your citizens at all. However, that is a fantastic start to the game. Great tutorial to teach you how to get going. You have to keep in mind you don't want to crowd too many areas. You want to keep clean traffic lines so that people, like I said, I didn't build 2 exits off of this road because you don't want people coming in off the highway and then stopping right here, and then stopping right here, and then stopping right here, and then stopping right. You want one kind of main road to get all of these people. That's where they got to go. So it's kind of look at it kind of like arteries, really. You've got main arteries that feed smaller arteries. We will cover all of this progression in the next episode. We will add a medical clinic. We will add some education. Thank you very much for joining us here at CCSC. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're going to do an entire Let's Play series to teach you how to play the game in 2021. And in the later episodes, we will get into a lot of fun aspects to try and keep you entertained and keep you coming back for more. Thank you very much. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.